$2.3 million is on the line for Sun Stakes Saturday at Pocono Downs, Mohegan, Pennsylvania. What a great card. 14 races are on the card. We're going to have all the action live here on DRF with live video streaming, free PPs. You can check out the QR code on your screen for all of that. Of course, this video will be there too. You know, you'll probably want to watch this over and over and over again because Matt's going to have lots of great things to say as we discuss the $15,000 guaranteed all-stakes pick 4, which starts in race 10, and it starts with the James Lynch Memorial. $250,000 is on the line. We see the morning line favorite here is Rocket Dale on a 3-race win streak, Matt.
Yeah, we start off with a bang with this nice field of 3-year-olds, and what can I say? A solid field from top to bottom, as we normally get. I would say the morning line is pretty close. Maybe Caviar Bell, even though she came up, really flat at the Meadowlands on Hambo Day, could be the favorite. But I do like Rocketdale. What's not to like? 3 wins in a row, decent inside post where Andrew McCarthy has options here, tactically speaking, and I think she's a must-use on the play. Caviar Bell. We all saw what happened on in the Shady Daisy. We don't really know why. I don't know if you have any insight on that. But I'm going to end up not using it here, which may or may not cost me. I have a feeling you like her. But what exactly happened on Ambo Day?
According to trainer Nancy Thacker, she said the horse tied up. So basically it was a hot, muggy day out, and it's just a matter of I look at it as kind of like nerves, and you just can't perform up to your optimal level. I expect the horse to be much better. I expect we'll get a reasonable price here. I mean, she's 3-1 in the morning line. I could legitimately see her being 2-1 in this spot, or 5-2, which is much higher than the 4-5, 1-9, and stuff we were getting previously.
Oh yeah, I mean because there's going to be nervous money out there. It's amazing how you can go from so great to so sour in handicappers or horse players' minds off one start, but that's what's great about harness racing. You don't have to wait too long, a week and 2 weeks tops, and you can bounce right back. I'm not going to use her. I'm going to use Rocket. Rocket Teo, the 2 horse. I also like My Girl EJ, who would probably be my top pick if I had to choose one of these on top. Dexter Dunn drives regularly for Ron Burke, and we've never seen her put in a bad race. I can't recall her ever running a bad race. She always hits the board. She's always right there. And she might be the one that offers a little bit of value because she's stuck outside of the top contenders here.
Yeah, I could see the 3 of them, Rocketdale, Caveat Bell, and My Girl EJ, being pretty close, within a point or 2 on the final odds. Obviously, you have to respect her. She's only missed the board once in 21 career starts, and she has a shot. I went with Rocketdale and Caviar Bell in here as my 2, and we're going to move on to race number 11. It's the Delmonica Hanover. Also $250,000 on the line. This one's on the trot. And I think while the power, to me, kind of seems to be on the inside, you also have the Hambletonian Oaks winner, Warrior Michelle, on the outside. And can she win from out there, Matt?
I mean, yeah. We saw she was a price in the Hambletonian Oaks and got the job done with a solid rally. Aki Sponset has proven there's nothing to fear when he's in the bike in terms of your wagering dollar. But it is a tough spot. I doubt he's going to want to get away last, but there are going to be horses inside pushing off. Will there be a seat for him to drop into? I'm not sure. I am going to stick inside. Interestingly, we have a morning line favorite, Alyssa Hanover. Another one that just on a big winning streak that came up flat on Hambo Day. In the Hamiltonian Oaks, disappointing, and much like in Caviar Bell, what do we do with her?
Well, why don't we take a look at the Hambletonian Oaks from a couple of weeks ago? Maybe we'll learn something here. And first,
I don't know. I don't know what there is to learn. I mean,
one of the things I think we'll see, Matt, is we'll see French Champagne trying to split between horses, and clearly has some trot late, and ends up kind of getting in tight there and making a break with Andy Miller driving. We're getting Dexter Dunn back this week, so maybe that makes a little bit of difference. And by around charging late.
I think that makes a huge difference with French Champagne. And we saw the traffic issue. I don't think we're going to have a traffic issue this week, to be honest with you. Alyssa Hanover, like I said, just a bad day. I mean, does she come back and start in a winning streak? I don't know. Another kind of tentative favorite that I'm not going to use. I like the one also by around. She's a stone cold closer, but hopefully she's not too far back. It can work out some sort of cover trip, maybe even third over, depending on where she gets away from the rail. But French Champagne, going back, getting Dexter done, good posts. I'm liking her a lot.
I really don't know that Elise Hanover is going to be the favorite here. I think a lot of people are going to jump back on French Champagne off the little bit of a trouble trip with Dexter Dunn joining the team. I'm using that one on my ticket. I'm also using Elise Hanover on my ticket, figuring I'll get a little bit better price. Trainer Annie Stobie told me the horse was sick. I didn't, it made me feel better about my choice after I had made it, but I wasn't just basing it off that. I mean, the horse won 10 in a row before that. Maybe she just had a bad day. It was, 90 degrees and 500% humidity on Hamiltonian day. So I can give her a little bit of pass. I mean, I like By Around as a horse. I don't know if I'm convinced starting from the inside post on a 5H track that it's the perfect scenario for her.
No, that's what I said earlier. I don't think it's a perfect scenario, but any sort of reasonable setup and any sort of pace scenario, and she will be if not the fastest, one of the fastest coming home we can imagine. And I think there's enough run in the stretch to get there. But I'm gonna say I'm not keen French Champagne. I'm using By Around as well, but I'm leaning heavily on French Champagne. And like you said, Alyssa Hanover, yeah, we're not going to see an odds-on favoritism here, but she's still going to be one of the 3 or 4 that's prominently taking the money here. So, but I will pass on her and use 1 and 3.
Well, if she wants to come up the inside, Pocono always seems to have like 26 passing lanes to the inside. So there'll be plenty of room there. We're going to move on to race number 12. It's the $300,000 Max C. Hemp Memorial. And this race has a 2-to-1 morning line favorite in Legendary Hanover, who's probably going to be 1-5 at post time.
I was going to say maybe flip those numbers around and make him 1-2 on the morning line, and deservedly so. Powerful Meadowlands pace winner, powerful Cane pace winner. I imagine the outside post is not going to present too much of an issue. Going to be a key on a lot of people's tickets, and not going to be a key on my ticket. I'm also going to go with Captain's Quarters, who I've kind of been following with a little bit of disappointment. Interesting driver change here to Scott Zeron after Jody Jameson had been driving all of his starts, and basically that's the only we saw him get blown away by Legendary Hanover in the Cane pace, but still. The driver change angle is basically the only reason why I'm going to use.
Wait, let me stop you here for a second. Okay. Is Scott Zeron really worth a second? Because this horse is going to have to find multiple lengths if he's going to be able to catch
Jody Jameson is bad or there's a huge driver change. I'm going with the fresh set of hands angle. And sometimes that works wonders. Even if you have 2 drivers of, pretty much equal ability. That's my angle here. It's not like he's a bad horse. It's not like he's impossible to stalk Legendary Hanover. And Legendary Hanover, gets a little leg weird or whatever. He's not going to win every single race. Although obviously he stamped himself as a top 3-year-old so far. But like I said, I'm using Captain's Quarters on my ticket, driver change angle, and that's it.
Well, I'm going to single Legendary Hanover, but if I was going to go with an angle for another horse, it would be Captain Albano, who I think was a tired horse winning the Adios. I mean, he had raced 4 straight weeks. Now he has a few weeks off to recuperate, returning first-time Lasix here. To me, I think he's more of an interesting upside horse than Captain's Quarters. Not that I'm saying Captain's Quarters is a bad horse. I don't see the driver changes as being something that's going to make a huge difference, but maybe I'm wrong. Maybe Scott Zeron has some magic in those hands. We're going to move on to race number 13, which is the $300,000 Earl Bill Jr. Memorial. And to me, this is one of the best of the 4 races. I mean, it really is a wide open affair. I mean, I keep coming back to Sig Sauer, who was 4th in the Hamiltonian. I want to show that replay because he had some trouble in the stretch there where he was, looking for room. We'll take a look at the Hamiltonian replay from a couple of weeks ago. You'll see the weather wasn't very good, and 6 hours, the 8 horse kind of getting squeezed there, looking for room somewhere, and he's just not going to find it until way too late, Matt.
I thought that was just a fun that not for the drivers or the connections, but just the skies opening up and then erasing after a monsoon. And I give Andrew McCarthy credit. I like 6 Hour. I give him credit for getting out of the gate and getting himself in position, although ultimately it didn't work out. But a horse that's been basically showing off the pace closing style, making his way to the front. Listen, I'm not gonna try to get cute here or anything. I kind of see this as like my top two horses are probably the two betting favorites, 6 Hour and TCI. We know TCI has been talked about. He hasn't come back like maybe as great as everyone anticipated, but I'm not going to take anything away from that, from the Hambo defeat where he was used and pressed and gave way in a monsoon.
And speed wasn't great that day. I think only 4 of the 16 winners went on the lead on Hambo Day.
Yeah, so I mean, I'm not gonna take anything away from him, and I think it's time for this horse maybe to step up and get his signature win so far for the year. So yeah, I'm not trying to be get cute here. I look at it as likely the two favorites, 6 Hour and TCI are those the two I'm going to use.
What I think is interesting about this race a little bit, is that outside of 6 Hour and TCI, you have Security Protected and Situationship, and these are two horses that typically leave the gate really fast. So when they leave the gate really fast, assuming that they do, depending on what 6 Hour and TCI do behind the gate, it could create some interesting scenarios as far as pace.
Well, I'm going to assume that it's not just going to be the 3 and the 4 floating out there and that's it. There's a lot of money on the line. There's on a 5H track. There's plenty of opportunity, I think, for a horse on the outside to get involved. Much more so than say a half-mile track, obviously. But yeah, I can see Security Protected or Situationship trying to get out of there. Dexter Dunn with Amazing Catch trying to protect position. I mean, it should be an interesting opening half, but I just think, or I'm hopeful that the cream so far in this division is going to rise to the top with 6 Hour and or TCI, picking up that like I said before, signature win.
Well, I'm going to throw a couple others, including them, on my ticket. I'm going to use Security Protected, who made that switch to Zeron that you like so much last time, and it really paid off. Granted, against cheaper company, maybe Zeron maybe this horse got a confidence builder, on the 5/8 last time at the Meadows and ready to step up. He was entered in the Hamiltonian and made it to the final, so it's not like he's a bad horse. The other horse I'm going to toss on my ticket just because of the potential of the crazy pace scenario of the 5 and the 6 leaving and the 3 and the 4 having to make moves to the front. I'm going to throw Gruesome Twosome on the ticket, the 8 horse here at a big price. He's 12-1 on the morning line, raced once against open competition in the Dancer, and raced really well. I mean, there was no shame in that race. It was a nice steady mile, finished up with good trot in 26 and change in a 51 mile. If things do get crazy, I wouldn't be surprised if he did well. And the weather's calling for, we're expecting some rain on Saturday. So who knows if that, plays some havoc with the track. I just think it's a worthwhile shot to take, Matt.
I mean, I guess you look at it. If you're alive going into the last leg, he'll be the longest will pay, that's for sure. So you'll have a little bit of excitement, but listen, he might be a nice horse. He might be capable, but he also has the 8-hole in an 8-horse field with, I guess you could say, a driver that's not as experienced as the other drivers, racing in big state races. As a train flies by, maybe that's a hunch play for the 7 flyby.
Maybe we got a hunch play on the 7. We got my freight train.
But yeah, I mean, it'd be nice to see him pick up a check. I think he's gonna become last to first. That's gonna be might be too much of a tall order.
So why don't we take a look at the tickets that we prepared here, and we both get to $8, but we do it in very different ways. I'm going with the 2 and the 6 in the first leg, and quite frankly, I would consider taking a shot singling the 6 Caveat Bell because you don't want too many favorites. At least a Hanover French Champagne, then the obvious single of Legendary Hanover, and then I spread in the last leg. Listen, I know that Security Protected and Gruesome Twosome, the 5 and the 8, are a little bit more of a, longer shots, let's say, you know, and they'll
Well, I
need
don't see
some
anything
luck.
wrong with taking, in a race where there's no standout and there could be a ton of different pace scenarios. I see no problem with throwing in a couple of long shots. I didn't, however. My ticket is a little more standard. I don't have any keys, but I
You went
also
with
have
the Noah's Ark ticket, Matt. Well, we're gonna put Matt's Noah's Ark ticket up here, the 2x2.
yeah, no keys, but 2x2x2x2 for $8. Uh, if I would take a stab, you said you would key Caviar Bell. I might key My Girl EJ, looking for better value. French Champagne in the 11th is my top pick. We discussed Legendary Hanover versus Captain's Quarters. You're still laughing at me, I think, but we shall see with the driver change to the reigning driver of the year, if I believe. And then Sig Sauer and TCI. So I'm not, we're not looking at a tax ticket here, but it's only an $8 play, which I'll be playing multiple times. So we'll see. Maybe I can get 10 times on my money.
Well, it's a $15,000 guaranteed pick four pool on Sun Stakes Saturday at Pocono, August the 17th. There's a number of other guaranteed pools. I think they start off with a $10,000 guaranteed pick four in the first race as well. And there's a pick five and a pick three guarantee along the way. We have free PPs. You can check them out via the QR code on your screen. And you can watch all the races live if you'd like to. Good luck.